Hi, I'm Bruce Brown. Have you ever wondered if you might have ADHD? Assuming you're an adult, adult ADHD, but have you ever thought about that? Well, guess what? If you do, your friends already know. And in fact, they've probably known for a long time. That certainly has been my experience. When I was on my And fairly recently, when I was on my journey of discovery, realizing that I might have, and then finding out that I did have adult ADHD, I called a couple of my oldest friends, like going back decades, and I said, gee, I think, and in each case, it was almost, and they hadn't spoken to each other, they don't really know each other very well, because they're states and states apart. They said, oh, of course you do. You didn't know that? Everybody else did? Yesterday, I was at a networking luncheon, and I did what I usually do when it was my turn to introduce myself, and I stood up on a chair in front of a group of about 25 people, and maybe 18 of them I already know. Some of them I know very well. And among other things, because it was sort of the first meeting of the new year, I said, oh, and by the way, I have been diagnosed with adult ADHD. And a lot of people just sort of smiled at me, and one of the guy sitting right next to me, who's a real good friend, said, of course you do. Your friends already know. And, it was a funny experience for me to realize that early on, and this was really early on, just like 5 or 6 weeks ago, that they knew, and nobody had ever mentioned it. Because for me, anyway, realizing that I have adult ADHD and learning about it has really been a wonderful experience. I mean, I've gotten clarity on a lot of things that I just didn't understand about myself before, or that maybe I had a lot of negative self-talk about some stuff. And, maybe if somebody had pointed that out to me, but I guess how would they know to do that? Particularly if they just assumed I had it, and that everybody else knew it, and that I probably knew it as well. Why point it out, right? So, maybe ask your friends, if you're wondering, just say, hey, have you ever thought that maybe I have ADHD or ADD? And see what they say, because chances are, if you do, your friends already know. Okay, so I'm Bruce Brown, and I'm talking about adult ADHD, but I'm not medical. I'm not qualified for anything, anything medical to do with adult ADHD. I'm just sort of relating my experiences, hoping that maybe they can help you. Because I've just recently found out about my diagnosis, and as I mentioned in another video, my first step was taking some online tests that I found that were free, and then it turned out that one of them that I took was exactly the same test that was given to me in a psychiatrist's office, the second doctor that I went to. And so on my blog, there's a place where you can, there's a link, there's a little box where you can sign up to have that email, have the links emailed to you, so you can download those tests and try it out yourself to see, if you have indications. But, you don't even really need to take a test, I think. Just ask your friends, and if they say, well, of course you do, then maybe you'll want to go and talk to a doctor. But if you are interested in downloading the link to those tests, one's a paper version, the other one's an interactive version, and they're not a business for me, I got nothing to do with them, but I found them and they're the standard things. Then just on my blog, adultadhdunplugged.com, on the right-hand side of the screen, I guess looking at it, it'll be on this side, is a thing where you can just put your name and email in, and I'll email you the links to those tests. Again, I'm Bruce Brown, and I hope you're doing real well. And just remember, if you have ADHD, if you think you do, your friends already know.